The weather? Very peculiar, don't you think?
Yeah. Looks like the winds are changing.
Change is good.
Yeah, but it's not easy. I know what I have to do, but going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long. Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. You see? So what are you going to do?
First, I'm gonna take your stick.
No, not a stick. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going back!
I can give you all the things that you wanted before. If you wish.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini.
Hello everyone, my name is AJ Orsini, and this is episode 16 of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. I am once again here in the House of O, and I've been promoting this crap for weeks, or at least promoting the crap that I have in my house now. I got all this new fancy equipment, I got stands, I got mics, I got this fancy new mixer, and I said that as soon as I got my equipment game up, the first thing I would do was start doing interviews, because I want to tell you guys the stories that sometimes don't get a chance to be told. And that's what I wanted to do with this show. And I finally here, it took me 16 episodes, which means it took me 16 weeks. But I got to where I am now because I've been working hard at this, and here we are. So episode 16, and I got my interview going, and here we go. Thank you. And of course, as luck would have it, when you're going to do your very first interview, that's not my wife. she's if you're going to label all the interviews, it's going to be 00 wife and then 01 this interview here. Okay? So it's 1A and 1B. When you want to do an interview, you want to go all out. Especially when it's your first interview, you want to go all out. So I could have gotten a wrestler, I could have gotten a musician, I could have gotten a whole bunch of people, but instead I went out and found myself a king. Now, it's not just any king. He's the king. Negro, how are you doing here tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I am happy to be here. And just like Martin Luther King, El Rey has a dream, and that dream is becoming reality in front of everybody's eyes.
Yes, and I'm so glad you had the opportunity to come in here today. Thank you so much once again for taking the time to grace us with your magnificent presence, sir.
Thank you, man.
Well, I'm here to do my first interview with you, and I gotta say right now, I've been a fan of your work for a long time. And we were just talking before we went on the air here, and we mentioned, man, there's a lot of things we need to get to, and especially a little tidbit on this reputation you have here in New York City. And we're going to hit on all that stuff. We're going to definitely hit on all that stuff. But where I want to begin with you is where, this is going to be a non-traditional interview here. I got some questions that people don't normally ask in interviews. I have this little section we're going to do toward the end called rafts. Okay, I got 9 rafts for you. And my rafts are questions that are random as fuck. That's what the raft is, okay? They're fucking random, all right? They're not, no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to ask you these questions. You're going to give me the absolute fucking truth.
Always, man. I don't lie. One thing I don't do is lie. I might be loud or obnoxious, but I speak it how it is, man.
And I'm hoping to get a heavy dose of that here tonight as we begin this interview. And, of course, as different as this interview is going to be, unfortunately, I'm going to begin this interview as very traditional as possible. It's the first interview. Let's be professionals here. You've been in this business a long time. How many years exactly have you been in this business?
I would say that I've been in this business for 17 years.
17 years. It's a long time.
Long time.
When I got in, you were already a decade.
Yeah, dude. And it was a great decade, and now is even a greater time.
You're on the bigger and better things at the moment. But let's go back to the beginning here, because while you stand before me here a king today, once upon a time you were but yet a prince.
Right.
You were
For
a
sure.
young Negro once upon a
Yeah,
time.
for sure, man.
What were your influences? What got you hooked into the wrestling game? How young were you when you first got a hold of that?
Like really early. So I was fortunate enough to have 2 older brothers that loved professional wrestling. So
Okay.
when I came out of the womb, it was on the TV in my house. It was what I saw like growing up at a very, very young age. My dad used to take my brothers and myself to Madison Square Garden all the time. I'm talking about in the early 80s. I'm 37 years
The
old.
Vlad days.
Yeah, for sure. All my boys used to be there, man, and it was great to go to the Garden because there was no internet, there was no spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
And when you went to a wrestling show, you genuinely enjoyed the show because you didn't know what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where we could talk about that later, like how I feel. Spoilers and things like
I
that.
just
I've
did
heard.
that episode last week, the kayfabe episode.
Yeah,
I got
for sure,
I got
man.
that shit off my
Kayfabe
chest
is very
too.
much alive. It's all
That's
about
what I'm
we
saying,
give people.
bro. That's what I did. Look, he said it in 2 seconds, baby. It took me 50 minutes to get that point across last week. No, but I fucking went in. Like I
We're the
was talking
dictators, right? We're the wrestlers, so we dictate.
It's all about belief. If they
Correct.
believe the fucking story, then obviously kayfabe's alive. You can't tell me kayfabe's dead when you don't know what I'm doing.
It's all about
you don't
what
know
we
how
give
I
'em.
made this. How do you think?
Right.
But that was last week's
Right.
conversation. We're here to talk about you. So you were very young. You went to the Garden. You had your older brothers. At what point? Because I know for me, I used to attend a lot of events when I was a kid too, and I remember I can pinpoint it. I can pinpoint the exact fucking moment. Bro, fucking Hartford Civic Center, 1999. I'm going to a Raw with my mom, and the fucking show opens up with the Rock and Sock Connection. Rock comes out, huge pop. That was the
Right.
fucking moment. I said, this is what I have to do. Is there a particular match, show, performer, any incident where you fucking saw it and it went, this, I have to do this?
2 things. January 23rd, 1984, Hulk Hogan.
See, he's got the dates. Everyone has the date. I'm telling you, man. Go ahead, go for it. I'm sorry.
Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan. No, it's the truth. You're talking about the real moments that
That's it.
influence
Yeah,
you.
where you went.
Hulk
stand.
Hogan beating the Iron Sheik for the WWF title in Madison Square Garden. That was crazy on another level. You know, the era of Bob Backlund was before that. He was champion for many years. Out of nowhere, the Iron Sheik comes in and beats him in a very controversial way. I guess they wanted to phase Backlund out and bring Hogan in. So they did this gimmick where they threw the towel. So Backlund never really tapped, but the finish went to the Sheik, and the Garden was in shock because the Sheik won. Then this new guy came along named Hulk Hogan. He did like 2 TV gimmicks, and then he was the champ, bro. It was crazy, man. And I remember seeing that live. You know, like I was old enough to remember that. So wrestling has always been in my family. And at Starrcade, not at Starrcade, I'm sorry, at Clash of the Champions, it was Ron Simmons teaming up with this unknown named Too Cold Scorpio.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, and they were doing a handicap match with Cactus Jack, the Barbarian, and Tony Atlas, I believe. Ooh. And Too Cold Scorpio for the first time did the 450 splash. I've never seen it before in my life. Yeah. And that was it, bro.
He probably regrets doing that shit now. It's been like 30 years. His kneecaps are dust at this point. But
he still does it, bro.
No,
he still does it, and he does it well, too, man.
Still does it better than half of the fucking guys. And he's like twice the size of most of the guys that pull that move off now. He's a genuine heavyweight.
Yeah, legit 230, 240, and he did it at a time when no one else was doing it, and it was crazy.
People
for me
were
to see. I
afraid
was
to
a
take it.
supermarket.
They'd never seen some shit like that before.
Right. Yeah.
People were iffy about that frog splash. They said, "You gonna rotate with that shit?" Hold on.
we were tape collecting and tape trading.
Yep.
So when I found out about like RF video and stuff like that, I started seeing all these different things. That was the only way to really see, wrestling footage. You had to be, deep in the wrestling scene to like want to see all this other stuff. So
yeah, I was telling a story on the podcast that when the network got released, it was released on my birthday around 2013, I think?
Right.
And I bought, the day of, obviously, I bought the network, and my mom calls me on the phone. She goes, "Hey, I heard about this network. Did you get it?" I was like, "Yeah, I got it. I got the network, of course." And she goes, "Okay, so what do you want to do with the 300 fucking tapes sitting in my house right now?" Because I had fucking Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, like every one of them taped. So it's like 3 or 4 years. I got the whole Attitude Era on VHS in this bitch's house, and she's like, "Oh, you got the network? That's cool. You can see all that shit. Great. What do you want to do with all this shit in the back here? Because it's
you
clogging
can't get
shit
rid
up."
of that, man. You can't get rid of that. You got to keep that,
She got rid
bro.
of half of it by now, but no, I'm trying to prolong. I have like one No Way Out 2001 or something. I'm like holding on to like for dear fucking life. But yeah, so you had that moment. I mean, you saw these matches. You had that moment. You said, "Man, shit, this is what I have to do." I have a very pivotal follow-up to that because I remember when I had my moment, the first thing that I did, I said, "Man, I want to do this. How do I do this?" I'm looking online and they're like, "Well, you got to go to school." I had no clue at that time. It was like 98, 99 that they had schools for this shit. So I was like, "Oh, this is great." And I was living in Connecticut at the time. So, I mean, this is like 98, 99. There's fucking nothing. There's like no fucking nobody. There's nobody. I mean, you got Rods in New York, who I contacted. I shared this story.
Rods was expensive back in the days,
I share this
bro.
story all the time. I would have paid Rods, but I went to the Rods gym. I think it was like 99, and he looked at me and said, "Too small, pa." I'm too small. I said, "Okay." So then I heard about CZW had a school around that time. I said, "Okay, I'll go over there." They would have taken my money, but I had no transportation. It was just big ordeal. The bottom line is I didn't get trained till way after the fact.
Right.
Who trained you, and how did you go about finding the information about this training?
So me and my brother and my friends had like this backyard federation. You know,
I think we all did at one point. We
Facts,
got that one
dude. It's the way people who loved wrestling they found a way to do it.
It's an outlet.
At any place, any opportunity, if you were a real wrestling fan, you were trying to wrestle somebody. You know what I mean? So we used to do matches in our apartment, and at that time, like AOL came out. So I did like a search on AOL looking for other wrestling companies because like we were trying to join a wrestling company.
The same system too.
Dude, that's what it was, man. So I found this guy named Darren Quick. He wrestles by the name of Devious. He had a fed called TCW.
Okay.
And they ran out of this school called the Doghouse.
Oh, yes. The infamous Doghouse.
Yes, the infamous Doghouse. So we linked up there, and then we ended up starting our own wrestling company called SEX, which stood for Sports Entertainment Explosion.
That's what it stood for. Okay.
Yeah, no, for real. And
I get it. Just like TNA. All right.
This was in 99. No, this was in 2000.
You guys were ahead of the curve. I got you.
Oh, yeah,
TNA
big time.
didn't do it for like 3 more years.
Yeah, dude. No, for real. So then Homicide saw us, and he took, at the time, I guess a lot of the guys from the Doghouse were going up into the Indies, and they needed to like replenish the roster on the bottom. You know what I mean? And he saw a lot of guys that had potential, and he asked to train us. That was me, Casey Blade, All Money Is Legal, Devious.
those guys,
yeah, I mean, it was a lot. It was a
How
good
much
cast
of this
guys.
was in existence there? Were you still 6'3"? Were you?
I was 6'3", but I was 170.
There you go. La Flaca over here.
Yeah, dude, real skinny, bro. But I hit hard, bro. You know.
Oh, okay.
You had to.
You had
You're
to.
skinny.
I was gonna say, if you're in the
man.
Doghouse and you made it at 170 pounds, you was a hell of a motherfucker.
Yeah, man. So then Homicide just started training us, and a few months later, we got the opportunity to be on his shows, which ran every weekend.
Okay, weekly.
So you were getting, it was weekly. So you were getting
Experience out the crazy.
yeah, you were getting to work 4 times a month, which is more than some guys are working now that are on the indies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to hustle for those dates now.
And you were in the school. It was a different time. We were in the school pretty much every day or close to every day for a few hours, training on everything. Homicide. If I didn't have Homicide, bro, I'd be in deep trouble right now.
It's so funny because I plan to have him on the show. I've already spoken to him.
Yeah.
I plan to have him on the show, and I want to tell him. It's so funny that you bring it up because this was when you met. How 2000?
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
And he influenced your career, and you
Mm-hmm.
fast forward 2011, he's influencing mine. Without him, a lot of the shit that I'm doing now wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, dude.
And I give him that credit all the time. I was like, he was the one veteran, and you probably have a similar story. He was the one veteran that went, yep, him. He's good. I could work with that, and then we'll just figure it out from
He
there.
saw something in all of us. You know, when you're coming
He's got
up.
an eye because he does that a lot.
He
There's
has
a lot of guys.
he has an eye, and he's very intelligent, and you know, you talk about me getting a bad rep. I feel like sometimes he gets perceived as this thug character, but that's his gimmick, you know?
I make jokes about him. I tell him all the time. I said, you're in your Muhammad Ali phase.
Right.
And what that is that in Muhammad Ali's younger career, he was vilified. People forget that. He was actually probably more hated than loved, depending on the community you were in.
Yeah.
And then as he got older, everyone just started to love him because they finally realized what it is that he stood for and all that stuff. And I look at Homicide. I tell D all the time. I said, you're in your Muhammad Ali phase right now.
Right.
Now everybody loves you now. Everyone wants to be.
Oh yeah, he's Jeter right now, bro,
Yeah.
for real. You know, but he deserves that. That guy paid his dues, and he was everywhere, and he's done a lot of great things for this business that people don't even realize. The crop of students he brought up, you know, what he did with the doghouse, what he's doing now with his new school, the Compound.
Absolutely.
You give him back. That's what it's all about. You want to give back to this business as much as possible.
Well, let's talk more about his star pupil, which is you. And
One of.
one
You're not
of.
Loki's a star pupil for sure, man.
I'm pretty sure that's the one he latches on
Yeah,
to.
nah, dude. Loki is one of the greatest of all time, bro. Like he's next level, man. The stuff that guy has done in Japan and out here is crazy.
There's a lineage to this school. I mean, we say the infamous doghouse, and I'm hoping that because I know there's people who aren't from New York who listen to this podcast,
Right.
Who maybe not heard of the doghouse, and I've mentioned the doghouse a few times just to give backstory on guys like D and you and stuff, and I just. There's so many talents that came out of there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
No, it really is.
Because people shit on the New York City scene.
He was the
sometimes,
whole.
and
He produced like the whole crop of New York guys from like 2001 to
I
like
believe it.
2005.
And you can still give him credit for the stuff because then you guys took that and went to the next level, and then you started teaching all of us.
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
learned under you. I've learned under KC. I mean, there's just
Yeah, dude.
all the guys that came through. Low-key, the very first show that I worked on. Excuse me. The very first show that I worked on was with Key, and he was in the semi-main. And my job was to go out there. My very first show, they wanted me to cut a promo on the 4 guys who were in the main event
Right.
for that particular show. And it was Shane Douglas, Gilbert from Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
Sammy Callahan, and Homicide. And my very first show, my job was, now go out there and shoot a promo on all 4 of them to make this main event. Huh?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Luckily, I can do that. But, you don't tell a
Yeah.
first time guy that. So,
You hit a home run, bro. You're good, man.
well, I must have done something right. I'm still here. I got to get the chance to talk to you here. So, when you're in the school now, you're training the tag team.
Right.
Okay, because I want to get a little. I don't want to spend all day on the tag team. We got a lot to get to in your current state, but
Yeah.
I can't go through this without mentioning the team.
No, you have to, bro.
Have to. If you're gonna tell the story, you got to tell it. From the beginning. And at what point did they realize? Did they want to push you as a singles? Was the tag team forced
Well,
on
no.
you? How'd that go about?
Nah,
How
the
did
tag team
How did
w-
you and Casey get together?
Me and Casey got together because Homicide put us together. He chose for me and Blade to be together. When me and Blade both started, the first day that I met him, we started practicing in the ring. We didn't know each other for shit, I gave him a German, like the mark that I am. Like, oh, my first move in the ring, I'm gonna give somebody.
Did you call
a
it, or
German.
you just ripped them?
No,
up?
I
Okay.
called it. He ate the bump, but we always had like this amazing chemistry. When we feuded with each other, we had amazing chemistry, and they saw that. Originally, they wanted me to team up with this guy named Eddie Guapo. That he came from the doghouse as well. I didn't have chemistry with him, and me and Blade were good friends. So for me, I always saw him as a better tag team partner than the other guy. It ended up working out that way, and that was an amazing experience. Injuries is what really separated me and Blade the first time because we were running really hard. Like we had like a really good
Oh, I
run.
know,
yeah.
When you're done, I'm about to go into that because go ahead.
We were running really hard, and we jumped out of the indies, running, but we were young, we were dumb, we were partying, we were drinking, smoking, and all that stuff. So we weren't taking wrestling as serious as we probably should have been. If we would have stayed super focused, I think we would have got picked up, a long time ago. Because I think the DRS was that great of a team. We were the top heel tag team out here for years, bro.
No, I concur. Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
No, for sure. So
I told her leading up to this interview, I said I kind of grew up watching him perform with his partner for years.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I thought because I was green at the time and it was new, I didn't really know how the business worked.
Right.
I was actually scared meeting you for the first time because I'm the product of the rival. I'm a
Right.
product from the other team.
Right,
and,
right.
You know,
but that's corny because to me in wrestling,
but
there's
that was
only
the
one
education
team.
that I got. I learned after that.
Well, I mean that, you know, we talked off the record, you
Yeah.
know, beforehand about what you think it is or why people have this perception of you.
Right.
And I honestly think that majority of the people that have ever spoken about me have never really interacted with me at
No,
all.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Because my circle is very, very small, and I've learned to keep it that way because I want to stay out of the corniness.
Right.
You know what I mean? My focus as a performer at this stage in my career, knowing that wrestling, thank God, is at this age now where it doesn't really matter how old you are. It matters like what you produce and what you bring to the table. So I'm hoping that with this run, something like that could really happen. I could get picked up by a major company and, you know, and show my talents on a bigger stage. I don't have time to play around. I'm in training 24/7, bro. I'm training. I'm filming stuff. I'm shooting promos.
I'm gonna
taking
get there.
pictures. Yeah.
I'm gonna get there. Wait.
No, but you know that's where I'm at.
We're speaking vague and in generalities here. Let me get specific on how this conversation got started. The drama that you're trying to avoid. Because I've said it on the podcast before. I think there was like episode 1 or 2 where I was trying to give my validate. This is what I've done. You know, this is why
Right.
I chose to do a podcast. I have some experience in this business and doing this and this. And no matter what happens, and no matter how bad it got, and no matter how hateful, I think maybe hateful is the wrong word, but it ended badly. The people who started me in this business, and I
Right.
mentioned it before, Fighting Spirit Wrestling with Joel Maximo and the Maximo family and all that
Right,
stuff.
right,
They're
right.
the ones that brought me in, and no matter how bad it ended, I will always give them the credit for being the one that started me.
I thought I had a great relationship with those people, and
Well, that's the
something went
thing.
sour.
I
out
don't
of
know
nowhere.
how it went sour because I was there when it went sour, and I don't know how
I
the fuck it.
have zero idea at the time.
Here's what I do know, since we're telling the truth to each other.
Right.
You were in discussions at some point in doing said first show, the one that I just mentioned before.
Yeah, I was on the
Originally,
show.
if I'm not mistaken, it was the DRS, or at least you for sure.
No, it was
that
DRS
first-
for sure.
Yeah, it was supposed to be you guys and the Maximos, if
Right.
I'm not mistaken.
Most definitely.
And then somewhere along the line, it became the set, and I went, "What happened?" And then oh, shit went down, drama, the usual wrestling bullshit. I don't know what went down.
Nothing ever went down, in my
That's-
opinion. Like
8 years later, and I still don't know the story because now you're in front of me and you're telling me you don't know either.
Well, no, I know what happened, but I don't understand
what
why
went
it
down
happened.
between the two of you.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
At the time, I was the head trainer at that school, and I was training all the students
I
in
do
the
remember
ring.
that, yes.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought that me and him had a pretty good relationship. I thought that we were like really cool. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it wasn't cool that I was training the guy so much. You know what I mean? Like I was the one in the ring the majority of the day, like training people.
Because you started winning the boys over. He wasn't in the ring, so
Correct.
the attachment goes to the trainer always.
But the thing was at that time was that he needed to focus on just opening up the school. He asked me to come down and help him.
Right.
This is your school, brother. Like I would never disrespect anybody that welcomed me into their doors. I was raised right. You know
Right,
what
but
I'm saying?
hindsight 2020, everybody who ever had heat or any kind of problem with that place, we all know that it was Mrs. Maximo now. It wasn't,
sure.
We know that now. I think
But I
in the
thought I
heat
had
of
a
the
very
moment-
good relationship with her as well. She was really nice to me. I can honestly never say that I've had a bad situation with them until the show. What happened and why all of a sudden we went from being booked on the show to not being booked at all. So I was at the school helping train and everything was normal. I go home and I start talking to Joel, and he's calling me. He's like, "Yo, bro, I can't give you and Blade, our pay on the show." He's like, "I can't pay you your normal pay." So I go, "Okay, bro, it's cool. You're my boy. Like, I don't give a shit about
Right.
that. Like,
Would have
back
been
then
nice, but I know it's your
wrestled
first
for
show.
people for free before. Like,
And it's his first show. You're trying to help a friend out, right? Yeah.
I don't care about the pay. Don't worry about it." So he's like, "Oh, okay, bro, cool." So like 10 minutes later, he calls me back. He's like, "Yo, bro, I could only pay you $100 on the show." I'm like,
Each?
okay, yeah.
Or-
Come on, dude. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem, dude. I don't care.
Right.
10 minutes later, it's I can't have you on the show.
And I could probably fill in the blank for you on that one because he probably said that from the bottom of his heart. And he probably meant it.
Right.
And then he went back to
Right.
the living room.
Right.
And they started going over the budget. And she went, I'm not giving these fucking guys $100 because I used to see her physically do that in the office. She's
I
like,
don't really care about
fuck
that. I would have worked for him for free because I
I know.
thought we were cool. But the way that situation was played out was the only situation that I ever had with Joel.
That was my very first show and my first wrestling experience.
Mm-hmm.
And flags up the wazoo. You got dropped. All right, that's a little odd, but personal business. They know each other. Red got dropped because it was supposed to be Red versus Low Key.
Right.
But okay, that's weird. Lost the license. Okay, what's happening? Like even
Yeah, I didn't
even
follow anything that happened with them
after,
after,
I know, but
after that
you
situation.
were first. You were the first red flag.
Yeah.
And then a fucking domino in the world fell out.
But there was no reason for that because at any point in time he could have been like, "Yo, bro," and I'd be like, "Yo, my dude, like we're good, my nigga. Like, don't even worry about that." I'm not that type of dude, and the people that really know me, they understand that like I'm a very thoughtful person and I like to help people as much as humanly possible. You know what I'm saying? That's it's part of my nature. That's what I really do. My problem is I think a lot of people are marks to the gimmick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where they watch it and their perception is, oh, this guy Negro's a dick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I get
And
it.
and I don't interact with any of these people, and I'm a heel online because I believe in kayfabe, and I want to, you know, have this perception out there that I'm a heel.
Right.
I want people to dislike me. That's my job. Then I'm not a heel. Then I'm not a bad guy if that's not what I want to do in my career. Like they say that a lot of heels nowadays they want to be the cool heel that everybody likes.
Yeah, they get cheered now.
I don't.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And
you
it's not to be an asshole or anything like that. It's just my job is I want to differentiate myself from everybody else.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, then I'm just like everybody else if I do it the traditional way. Yep. I'm trying to create tension on social media, but not in a hateful way, but in a way for people to see that it's my character. But I guess people believe that, like they don't realize that I'm a family guy and I'm a good friend and I'm a brother. It's out of this world sometimes, but I appreciate it.
I tell students all the time when I meet with students or with schools, I tell them all the time. I said you can fit in with the crowd and it won't get you in trouble, but the crowd doesn't get signed.
Right.
You can't sign the whole crowd.
Right.
There's got to be that one person or maybe even two or three that stand out.
I don't even feel that what I'm doing is wrong. Unfortunately, right now we just live in a society that's very sensitive on all fronts.
All fronts.
We can't even converse about anything, and that might be one of the 9 things you randomly ask me later. You know what I'm saying? But that's the world that we live in right now. So for me to push the envelope the way that I'm doing it, I'm trying to do it in an intelligent way.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to offend people. I'm hoping that people will genuinely appreciate the art form of being a real heel being brought back.
Which is where I'm going to go next because we
Right.
talked about your tag team stuff. That was all great. 2012, something went down,
Right.
and there's a blank spot from 12 to about 15.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on
Yeah,
what that
for
is?
sure.
Is that too personal a thing to ask, or what
all right,
what happened?
With me and Blade, we got to try out a Ring of Honor, and they liked us, but they thought we weren't in good shape,
Okay.
And I was at a point in the career with him that I went to his house.
Wait, I just thought about something. You weren't in good shape, but the Maximals got like a year in Ring of Honor before they figured out. Like, you guys weren't that different in body type.
We fluctuated, though. We were at different points in better shape than one another. You know what I mean?
Dixie and all these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
they had some pretty small guys.
Oh, they loved us at Ring of Honor. We were backstage. We were in all those locker rooms in the
Okay,
beginning,
yeah.
but
I didn't think they were body guys at that point.
no, they definitely knew who we were. We did some shots for Ring of Honor and stuff like that. But I was at a point in my career with Blade that we were either gonna do this together, like for real, or we couldn't do it anymore. you have to make that decision. Like, if you really want to get...
Well, you described your team as two kids who really didn't take it seriously, and had we taken it seriously, we would have done more damage.
Yeah.
Who got focused first? It sounds like it was
Me.
you, where you were
Yeah,
just
me
like,
for
all right,
sure,
I can't
but
do this anymore.
I got forced to get focused, though, because we were on the tag team run, and he got hurt.
Oh, so you started doing the single gimmick for a while.
I changed my whole gimmick. I was very scared at the time because
You'd been
I was
baby
a tag wrestler, and I
married
thought...
to him for about 8 years at that point.
Right, and I was afraid that, what was going to happen was I going to get booked where people were going to give me opportunities. And, luckily Mike Morgan, when it was AWA and not Ace, gave me the opportunity and gave me like a babyface singles run. And it went great. And I started trucking as a babyface. Like, people, bought into the gimmick change, and I started getting in shape. I took the shirt off.
And you were doing the heel thing then, too.
I was doing the heel thing before then, but the whole singles run in the beginning, I was a babyface, man.
Okay.
It was dope, man. It was going very well.
You as a babyface.
Yeah, but it
I
worked.
have to see it. I trust you. I know you're a pro, but man, Jesus Christ. To have this guy having the women screaming for him and the men wanting to be him, I don't know.
Well, that happens anyway. That happens anyway.
Yeah, well,
That's
a whole nother. That's a whole other. We're gonna have to pause that shit for a second and conversate about that. But so you had the run in there about around 2012. That's when you really started to realize, okay,
it was time for a change, bro. And I said,
but the change, the wrestling stopped. So what type of change were you really?
I felt like I had to focus on my real life as well.
Okay,
and I had to prioritize my family and prioritize my mental health and my physical health.
Yeah, definitely.
I was in a bad situations, man. Not drug wise or anything, but like with women and stuff like that. I was a little out of control at that time. I was running hard, like in every aspect. You know what I mean? Because that's what I was.
Hard.
No, but that's what it was,
No, I get it.
dude. So
no,
I
hey,
needed
listen!
to chill.
Don't dislocate your shoulder, patting yourself on the back. All right, we get it. All right, you were a bit of a lady slayer in the
Back then.
back in the day.
Yeah,
but so you had a lot of things you needed to work on. There was a lot of personal stuff going on.
But I wanted to prove to Blade more than anything that he needed me because to
okay,
me,
so there was like a little.
Sure, because
was there any heat or it was just
not heat? Just like, yo, dude, we have to get on the same page. We have to do this for real. Mm-hmm. Like back then, the old thing back then is if you were below 30, that was the only opportunity that you had to get signed. After 30, you can't get signed no more. That was a thing years ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, for real. And it changed over the last few years. Thank the Lord that it changed, But I wanted to get serious and give wrestling one real run. And there was a lot of things that happened, Like, I felt like he didn't defend me as much as he should have at certain points in time in our tag team.
Now, you're not speaking out of school. This is stuff you've already talked to KC about.
Yeah, for sure. He knows the deal, man. And people would talk shit to him about me, and I felt like he didn't respond the way that he should have responded.
He didn't have the back that
I would have.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm about it, bro. Like when it's for my team, I'm about it, man.
Because you left about 2012. 2012 is the year where I split from the other guy and finally hit the scene, and now I have to fend for myself and get my own bookings and stuff.
Right.
And I did like a large quantity. Is he going into the hall? I did a large quantity of shows with KC.
Right.
I met KC first before I met you.
Right.
And I was doing ICW shows, and I was doing all these different things with him while you were on your hiatus.
Right.
So, and one of the things that I used to ask him all the time is, where's your tag partner? Because I always saw him as a tag guy. I always saw you as a tag guy.
Right. Yeah, that's what the
And when you
perception was.
came back in 2015, you had a completely different focus. It was visible. It was a completely different Negro. Even when you guys did those little reunion shots like you did for ICW when they had that one.
Yeah, but I wasn't in a good place at that point either, man. Like, I kind of let myself go physically. I came back. Like, okay, if you're going to take time off in wrestling, you have to come back looking different, or the return doesn't mean anything. There has to be something different about you.
Right.
So for me, it was to be in shape physically to look the part of a singles guy, because I kind of knew that was the route that we were going, He was hurt at the time. We were gonna do one more run together and see what we could do, because at that time, like, the Hit Squad was back and other tag teams were back, matches that we never got to really
The
have.
New York scene needed you again.
I mean,
did.
yeah, man, it would have been awesome, bro. And like EYFBO was coming up, and
Well, you know I have history with from the very beginning.
yeah, man, they're awesome, bro. You know, I'm happy for their success. You know, like it's awesome to see that, because I saw it from the beginning, legitimately.
The only
you know?
royalties on that name, I'll get to them in due time. But go ahead. Because I don't know if you know the story. They pitched it. I'm gonna repeat myself when they come on, but fuck it. But they pitched it. They were not supposed to be a team. As a matter of fact, the story goes is that Joel didn't like Drastic.
Right.
And he was actually letting him go. No, he told his ass not to come back. He did. And Drastic had a plane ticket to go to Puerto Rico. And if it wasn't for a phone call from a buddy, like a 3-hour phone call, he would have left the business.
Right.
So he came back to the Ludus and said, fuck it, I'm just going to train or whatever. And he won the good graces back. And they pitched an idea about being a team. So they said, cool, you could be a team, but we need a name. And they came up with EYFBO, which we all know now is entertaining your fucking balls off.
Right.
But that's not. They pitched it to him, and he went, that's dumb. That's stupid. I don't like that. Pick a different name. So they sat in the Ludus for like a fucking day trying to come up with a different name. And I sat with Joel, and I was writing the card out, and he said, put EYFBO, but I don't like that fucking name. I said, what's wrong with the name? He said, entertaining your fucking people are not going to understand that. It's too much. I said, really? It's too much? It's
Right.
5 fucking words. It's too much. I said, what do you have to? You're literally just putting them together now. What can you possibly lose if it doesn't catch on? You change the fucking name.
Right.
Just
DRS
just to shut them up. Just give them the fucking name.
Me and Blade weren't originally the DRS. We were the Deadly Venoms in the beginning.
The deadly. Okay, that's breaking news for me. I didn't hear that fucking shit before. The breaking venoms.
No, the Deadly Venoms.
Deadly. Excuse me. Deadly venoms.
And then one day I was watching Nitro at my house, just regular Monday night watching Nitro, and on TNT this commercial came on with Steve Martin for the Dirty Rotten Scoundrel movie.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was it, bro. I was like, that's our name.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and then it was
Yeah.
history from then on. So you come back in 2015, you have a brand new focus, and we were just talking earlier about you're a tag team guy. That's
Yeah,
what
for
you
sure.
were for forever. That's what Casey was. Even I felt guilty of it, where I just saw these guys as tag team. I mean, it didn't help that Casey would come out with the DRS gear, like he would have like. He would have the DRS gear and all that stuff. So you come back in 2015. I see you as a tag team guy. The
Right.
world sees you as a tag team guy.
I saw myself as a tag
You-
team guy too, because I love
But
tag
when
team
you
wrestling.
came back, you didn't. You had a different focus.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure now that I'm hearing the story, you had that babyface run, and while short, was meaningful.
Oh, it was definitely
You
meaningful.
went back into this going, I know that if this DRS thing doesn't work, I can rock the singles. Now, you
Right.
had a little bit more confidence. And that's what I want to ask you about confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all have this image of you as a tag team guy.
Right.
But somewhere along the line, you made the change first in here.
Yeah.
In your mind, you made the change. I'm going to be a singles guy. So you had the...
I was talking with my
you
trainer
had
and
an
stuff.
unbelievable task of convincing people who've watched you for over a decade that you're no longer whatever it is you were before. You're this guy now. So where was that click when you finally said, "Fuck it, I'm going full bore"?
It was hearing
King of
it.
New York?
It was hearing it from people. Like talking to my brother. Like, come on, man, you're a fucking bum if you don't do this. Like that's how your brothers are. Yeah, man. Because my brother believed in me so much. And he would always tell me, yo, dude, when are you going to go back to wrestling, man? Come on, man, cut the shit out. I was off for like 2 and change.
Yeah.
And
2012 to 2015.
but I followed everything.
Yeah.
Because you have to. And you want to see. I wanted to see Blade do well, but he had to do well on his own. So it's like I would get the heat from being the bad guy of the team, and everybody would think Blade was, Blade is the man, he's super cool. But then I'm the one contacting all the promoters and trying to get us bookings and stuff like that. And I wanted him to do the same as well. Because imagine if 2 people are attacking at the same time. Imagine if 2 people are attacking and you're doing it at the same time. You're going to get on a real run,
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted for I wanted the tag team to do everything the right way. Like, yo, we got to train together. We need to travel together. We need to go into this tag team run for real this time if we're gonna do this, and it didn't seem like that was gonna happen.
So this was the point now where you just said, you know what, I'm gonna have to take a risk.
Yeah, man.
So in the beginning stages of it, because now you go on YouTube right now, check out all your shit. You're an easy sell now.
Right.
This is what I do. These are my promos. Before all this fucking content came out, you had to start. So at what point? Not one point. Excuse me. How difficult was it for you to now condition these promoters to say, "Hey, listen, I'm not in the tag anymore. I'm doing my own thing. This is what the gimmick is." Because I'm pretty sure, again, everyone saw you as a tag team guy.
But amongst promoters, I think I had a pretty good reputation. As a good worker,
right.
A solid worker, and we never had bad matches. Like we the way me and Blade would call our matches, they were to people's strengths. Like when we saw that someone couldn't do a specific thing, we just wouldn't do it. And we just tried to simplify everything and make it as clean and as crisp as possible. So I knew how to call matches and stuff like that, It's just one of those situations, man, I don't get why the perception of me has been that, but...
How did you sell people on the gimmick, though? The King of New York.
It's a shoot. Like, people got like that. People were offended that I was calling myself the King of New York, but
yes, they were. There was a laundry list of guys that were saying, "This guy's the King of New York." I don't hear a lot of that chatter now, but in the beginning,
man. If you're gonna come back and you're gonna come swinging, you got to come swinging hard. And I knew that I had to do something to stand out right away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't put myself in position to just be that guy that just started on random shows and people didn't really know that I was there. You kind of have to create your own aura about yourself. One thing that I'll say that I think makes a lot of sense, and I think if people heard it from somebody else, they would probably respect it more. But the only person that could push you in professional wrestling is you. And that's from the get, like how you market yourself, how you push yourself, how you can put out your content, everything. You're the one that's literally and figuratively creating your own image. So I took that matter into my own hands, and I saw different wrestlers utilizing social media in ways to garner a lot of attention quickly.
Absolutely.
And
I'm going to ask you about that too, because it's the dagger and the sword. Is like, you debuted during a time where we didn't have all that.
Right.
We didn't have you didn't have the ability to, and you mentioned you didn't have the ability of social media and Facebook and Twitter. And you said during this time period when you were a fan, there's a lot of tape trading. There wasn't a whole lot of indie tape trading.
Not really. RF really started that. He would come out with the best of the indie tapes, and then you were starting to slowly see what these great talents in other territories were doing, because back then it was still kind of seen as territories. You couldn't just follow it on YouTube or sign up for it.
Listen to the WWE, they'll tell you the territories ended in the early 90s. They really didn't.
Right. No, they didn't.
I can make the argument there's still territories here, because I've traveled to different parts of the country where they would look at me and say, okay, he's the Northeast guy.
It would be seen as territories legitimately if people just worked together more instead of...
Everybody wants to be Vince McMahon.
Well, yeah, if you see that together, a unit of 10 people will be able to move that chair and table quicker than one person. If you had that mentality, then it would be more successful. But everybody wants to do it on their own. They don't trust people.
Shady.
It's stupid though, because back then the territories worked perfectly.
Right, but the only reason why I would disagree and say that it's not stupid is because too many marks are in the business.
Right.
And had it been left up to the people who are actually trained and professional and can do this legitimately, who came from setting up chairs to eventually getting the book, that would be different. But we got guys now they cash their W-2 checks, man, and that's it. They're in the business all of a sudden, and that's it. They're done.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that you've worked for, a lot of guys that I've worked for in this city that do stuff like that. And it's rampant. So to a degree, I agree with you. If we had a system of people that we can trust,
it's perception versus reality. Like at the end of the day, if people are on the same page and they perceive it a certain way, that's what everybody in society is going to see.
Could you imagine an NWA commission now in 2018?
That'd be so dope, though, man. It would be. People don't realize how dope it would be for the wrestlers in the independents right now, because you would have these avenues to travel in a better way and get more experience. stay in the territory for a
Right,
few
but it would
months.
also be dope for the fans.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're gonna get better quality shows. The reason I always say this all the time, the reason why money is down is because there's too many crap shows.
Right.
If people paid their hard-earned money and got decent shows on a full-time basis, we'd be back.
Originality, like for me, my perception is that what's old could definitely become new again.
Right.
And it's all about when you pull the trigger on it or how you do it. I'm an old school heel. I'm just a heel that sticks to the script.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
You're
I don't
just the
really
bad
show
guy.
that side. Yeah, just to be the bad guy, you know,
Right.
and to be hated. Like, you think I really want to be like hated in real life? No, man. I'm down to earth. I'm cool. I think I'm a pretty funny guy, you know. You don't want that, but in wrestling, you want that 10 trillion%. I want the heat. I want for people to get annoyed with what I'm saying. That's my job.
And you're one of those people I call them mark identifiers.
Right.
Because you can tell in the locker room who the mark is when they bought into the gimmick out there. And he's a piece of shit.
Right.
What did he do to you? Well, I've never really met him, but I just know he's a piece of shit.
Right.
It's like, I don't understand. Wait, what?
it's
We haven't
crazy,
shared a
dude.
single locker room together, but I was on Twitter the other day. And this guy at 140 characters or less was able to shit on this guy's entire identity. So I'm assuming he's an asshole. So that's it. He's an
Right.
asshole. So I've worked with you a few times over the years. You and I have never had a beef. We've spoken privately on a lot of situations.
For sure.
And you had a hand in creating something here in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be BCW, Bree Combination Wrestling.
Right.
You had a little bit of a hand in that at the beginning. And then, poof, something went down and no longer a part of that. There was a 16-minute video that went out. And you told the life story about it and
No, I was just real about it because if I don't care if people don't like me or if people like me,
Right.
but no one's gonna tell me that I'm not real, bro.
okay.
I call it like it is, like,
And you called it like it was for a quarter of an hour.
and you know, but because I
saw
needed
the whole video. I was driving.
I needed to say it, bro, because it was so wrong what was done to me and the perception and like what people listen to what other people say more
I'm gonna
than
ask you the
listening
question, were you
to.
lied to?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, come on,
It
man.
was supposed to be this, and then it turned out to be something
Right.
else.
Yeah, it was shade ball, but God bless them, man, and you want to see everybody do well.
Well, you returned at one point. You made an appearance.
And they shitted on me again, business-wise,
Right.
money-wise. We, having an agreement as to how much you're gonna get paid, and then day of, you're like, hey, I'm gonna give you 1/4 of that. No, man, no. Like I can't do that for you. You did me dirty once, and I'm trying
Especially
to
when
write.
you have a history already of,
Yeah, the history was simple, man. At the end of the day, I'm very passionate, and when I believe something, and that could be to a fault sometimes because we're all human and we all have specific traits about ourselves. But I feel like I'm an intelligent enough guy to know when something's right and when something's wrong.
as being and like this is my assessment of that. As a wrestler, you, especially with someone who's been doing it for as long as you have,
Right.
you're trained mentally to give trust.
Yeah,
It's
man.
not something that comes lightly because you're very selective, especially now in this portion
Correct.
of your career. But it's your basic training to give trust and all that
Well,
stuff.
no, I was, I lived my life as a Christian for a long time. I'm not living my life that way currently, but I did for a.
Or when you was digging out all those females.
Yeah, I went back and forth into it, but I know right from wrong, bro. Like I
Right.
know how to treat people with respect, and I know how to give respect to people. And I was raised by a great family that taught me right from wrong and to do good by people, and good things happen to you. And I went into those situations with those intentions, and for whatever reason, people want to listen to the whispers in the wind, the people just chattering, oh, don't trust Negro. The Negro did this. Oh, Negro. But what did I do? And who did I do it to? And if you're such a man, why don't you say it to my fucking face, bro? Like, instead of, being so secretive and sneaky about like how you want to do things, it's not cool, man. Like I'm real, and I call it the real way, bro. And the situation with that is that they just didn't want me being the booker anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the company was getting a lot of buzz in the beginning. The houses were going up every show that I was involved with. And people were invested in the talent that we had because we were taking all the good young talent and giving them the opportunity that other companies weren't giving them at the time. That wasn't the vision that they wanted, so we parted ways, and it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me because it got me super focused, and made me realize what I had to do to persevere and not have that situation happen to me again. I'm good.
Absolutely. So, you've been the king of New York now for
2 years, yeah.
About 2 years strong. You did a little bit, see more of the traditional stuff with you because you took the break, you came back, you did a few shots with Casey Blade as the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. You did it again, but you were already kind of starting the king gimmick,
right?
And then you turned heel on Casey. You did the whole former tag team matchup thing when I said
because we were originally supposed to legitimately team up that night, and then they replaced him with Deranged, and I wasn't even happy that they replaced him with Deranged, to be honest with you.
I also have a history with Deranged
because I wasn't I'm not the biggest fan of his. Like, we used to be very cool, but he was another one that was a real dick to me on talking crap about me and shit like that, and I never really did that.
You're
to
one
him.
of the majority, apparently.
Right.
When it comes to Deranged.
Yeah, so
Azrael's cool though.
That's my guy, bro.
Az is the man.
No, he knows. As he knows how much I love him, bro. That's my dude, bro. We've been friends for 17 years, bro. That's my guy, bro.
I absolutely know it. So you're doing the King of New York thing, and I'm sure in the beginning of the whole thing, it was kind of a risk. You were taking a bit of a risk. I mean, you were known for one thing.
I mean, yeah, sure, but you gotta, in any aspect of life, if you're not gonna believe in what you're doing 100%, don't do it. So there was never that worry or fear of like, this isn't gonna pan out, this isn't gonna work out. It was just pretty much figuring out what formula would work and how to do it the right way to get it to really pop off.
But that's your mentality. That's your side of it. I'm telling you, as a third person who was in the business at the time when you made this switch, the reputation is he's an asshole, right?
Right.
And then you develop this gimmick called King of New York.
Right.
Simultaneously, this happens. It's like you have a reputation of being a dick, and then you create a gimmick where you're a dick. So all those marks who were already buying into the gimmick in the first place, when they thought you were a dirty, rotten scoundrel for real, they're now more of this Negro shit.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it goes, there's no fucking way this guy's going to get any bookings.
Right.
Because now he's doing it on his own. At least the team was established before the dickhead reputation started.
Right.
Now, okay, he's a dickhead, but now he's going singles. That's why, to me, I'm just speaking third party, but you can clarify for me. To me, it seems, as a person who is familiar with trying to go out and get bookings and expand, it just seems like for me, it's hard, and I have a good reputation. You had an asshole reputation, and you get more bookings than I get. So how does that transition work for you? Or it's like,
because people see who you really are when you're dealing with them on a one-on-one basis.
There you go, and there it is.
And you have conversations with people and like, wow, this guy's a really nice guy, like he's pretty cool.
Like Tommy Lee Jones said, people are smart. A person is dumb.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm one of those people that I get vibes off of people relatively easy. Like, I know if a person's being genuine or not being genuine. It's just, it's common sense and common instinct, So I affiliate myself with people that are cool, man. And that's what's been happening on this run. Like, everybody that I've been dealing with has been really nice, have given me opportunities. With Pro Wrestling Magic that you said you wanted to talk about, it was supposed to be a one-shot deal. Like, they saw me at
Thanks for going past my setup, but yes.
I got you, brother. Come on, man. You told me what you wanted to talk about.
I wanted to segue. You're not allowing me to
in the
segue.
Negro way.
Because I was going to say, segueing the Negro way, I was going to say that as hard as it was for you to get started, it's always nice and a confidence boost for a singles wrestler to have a company put that back on you.
Yeah, for
sure. It only
sure.
takes the one, and then after that, all the dominoes will fall into place.
Right.
And Jerry over at Pro Wrestling Magic, obviously,
my guy, bro.
put his immense faith in you. You're a 2-time Pro Wrestling Magic Heavyweight Champion now. Now you're not representing Tag Team Gold anymore. Now it's you with the spotlight on you for the with the Heavyweight Championship on you. Talk to me now about that transition, because now you got the gimmick going. You're doing singles, but now you're the champ. You're the representation of this company.
Right.
So how did that change?
I felt like observing that specific company that they never had a champion that really talked about being the champion. You know, like I'm a firm believer that when a company puts its faith in you and they give you the opportunity to be the guy because you have the championship, you know, whatever, that you should show it all the time.
Right.
Like, I'm the fucking champion, dude. I'm the champion.
Right.
Me. Because it's up to each individual wrestler to make the championship mean something. And if the fans believe that your championship actually means something, they're going to care when you lose the belt a lot. They're going to care when you cheat to win. You know, they're going to be heavily invested in you, and it's going to make your product get better, and it's going to make more people come into the seats. So the concept was, you know, they're giving me the opportunity. I'm going to go in there just talking about the belt every day.
You're all over social media with the belt. Your default picture is the belt. Everything is the belt. The belt, the belt, the belt.
Yeah, because
That's
you want to
why-
make it mean something, you know. That's my belief anyway.
But is it twofold? Is it not just a belief in what you feel as a wrestler, but is it also kind of a thank you and homage to Jerry and the people who run Pro Wrestling Magic? Is, listen, I know you put your faith in me. I'm going to fucking run with this.
Yeah, as much as possible, because, you know, I know that people were iffy on doing it. Some people wanted to do it. Some people didn't. You know, sometimes when you have a booking committee, it's very hard for everybody on the committee to get on the same page due to the fact that there's 8 different opinions or 7 different opinions. Whereas if you're a booker of a company and it's one opinion, you don't have to really worry about that. That person has faith in you, and they're going to let you run with it. The situation, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. You know what I mean? I got the opportunity, and I felt like the way that I was originally booked was really shitty. And I made the best of those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was the one creating my presence on social media.
Right.
Like you say in wrestling, you're the best person that could promote yourself.
Right.
I felt like they weren't giving me the name guys that I wanted, you know, at the time when I was the champion, where other people in the company were getting those opportunities, and they weren't the main guy on the bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, your world championship should mean everything. That's what any company.
The top guy should be facing another top guy.
Right. A top guy or
Top contender.
a relatively good guy. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Right.
doesn't always have to be that way. Sometimes you could just be given the opportunity to wrestle a good name that's hot on the indies, and you're very happy with that, you know?
Right.
I wanted the opportunity for myself to prove that I could work.
Right.
I don't want people to have this perception of me that I'm only this loudmouth heel. But I could wrestle. You
And
know?
that's a good point. We spoke earlier about your ability to work. You had a reputation of a good ability to work when you were a tag team guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And now you're doing it as a singles guy. You've been doing this long enough now where, technically speaking, and I don't want to put a timestamp on you, but you're a part of 2 different generations.
Yeah.
So do you feel the need to have to prove yourself as a worker now just as much?
Every day, every
as
second
before?
of the day, every minute in the day, bro. That's the mentality. That's for me to get to my ultimate goal. That's the way that I have to think at all times. I have to think, yo, I have to be the best. I want to be the best. I got to prove it to everybody. I'm 37 years old, dude.
Right.
I'm trying to make history right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to do something that not a lot of people have done. I'm trying to get signed to a major company at a late age, you know?
Right.
Not without having that real name value that a lot of these guys get on the indies before they get picked up by another company.
Right. No, I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. And that's another direction that I wanted to go with this, because you're doing the whole King of New York thing, and it's going over, to me, it's going over gangbusters, because it started off as Pro Wrestling Magic Heavyweight Champion. It has spawned off into all of the other things. You're in Rhode Island. You're in Massachusetts. You're in New Jersey. You're all over the place now. I wanted to ask you, are you traveling and getting your name out more now than you did when you were DRS?
I think it's easier now due to YouTube and all these different things.
You have evidence now, and you put it in front of people. Before, it was like word of mouth. I
was a little weird, though. Like, when I first started the singles run and being a heel, you kind of want to stick to heel things. So, like, for example, if I'd lost a match, I didn't really want to show it on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm trying to put over my gimmick as being a heel. I don't want them to see that I ever lose, even though I lose all the time.
I have
you know?
never shared with a promoter a match where any of my talent lost. Ever.
Right.
For that same reason. It's just like,
You know, you want to give this perception. Like, I want to give this perception that I'm this real like character, man. Like, you know, like that's 2017, 2018. The game changed a lot with reality TV and, you know, how popular social media got with voicing your opinion and stuff like that. And I saw and noticed that a lot of people were using it in a very specific way to get a specific message out there. Matt Hardy changed the game.
yeah, he really did.
No, with everything that he did
filming
with
from the Hardy compound. And all
Dude.
that stuff. Yeah.
So it was like you gotta
People don't even realize
He
that.
got himself
A
that,
lot of
bro.
the TNA stuff that was given out was done. I mean, cell phone, personal camera, like a lot of that stuff was like literally like homemade video stuff
right.
that got over with a lot of
Well,
people.
no, and it's taking risk, man, and not being afraid to try something different. And he revolutionized everything. Like right now, to me, it's not even about your in-ring work as much as it is your persona and your personality and how people perceive you, you know? So that I focus on that a lot.
And I think sometimes that influences the younger generation a little too much because you'll say that, and I agree with you, but we're from the old school.
Right.
And when these kids go on YouTube, they see the Ricochets and the Trevor Lees.
Well, it's a different type of wrestling. Like I tell
the flippy
kids.
shit. Let's talk about it. Hold on a second. The flippy shit.
I'm gonna answer your
Because
question right now.
I'm not a big flippy shit guy.
I will tell you this.
Okay.
No matter what school you come from, you're being taught the right way because that school is teaching you that way.
Right. I get that.
So there's so many different perceptions as to what wrestling is, what it means to people, what wrestling they think is good, what wrestling they think is bad. There's so many different styles that people like. So I'm not here to castrate that because I would love to be in the opportunities that those guys are in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As being seen as the top in the world. You know, they changed the style in the business to make it be loved by a lot of different people, and then have a lot of people from the old school with the old school mentality just shit on it, you know, and talk about it in a very negative way. But in wrestling, it doesn't matter. Talk good about me, talk bad about me. No, just talk about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that.
It doesn't bother you either way.
No, I respect it. I just respect it as a different style of professional wrestling. I just think, you know, I enjoy my style of wrestling, which is that old
I
school
enjoy
heel.
your style of wrestling.
Right, the old
That's
school
why
heel.
you're here. That's why, again, I think we're going to disagree on this, but I can't stand it. I can't. I really can't. Like, it physically bothers me.
Right.
I stopped going. We used to go to Ring of Honor shows. I was a fan. Before I got into the business stuff, I enjoyed a lot of different indie shows
Right.
and WWE shows and, like, stuff like with the Young Bucks and all that other stuff. Like, great. Okay, granted, they're as over as fucking possible.
Dude, I
They're
watched
doing
Being
their
the
fucking
Elite,
thing.
bro.
Yeah,
They
I watch it every
revolutionized
now
the
and then,
game.
yeah.
They're the first guys that are not on, you know, big league contracts making a lot of money, bro.
That they've turned down. That must be nice to be able to turn those
Yeah,
things
man,
down.
it's special, bro. Like they're changing the game for every single person in this business, whether their style is liked or disliked, to give anybody the opportunity to do that. You know, it's pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of things being done in this boom that we're starting to go through. You know, where wrestling's getting pretty awesome again.
We talked about the flippy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on the hardcore shit? Because I don't like the hardcore shit.
I
either.
respect Matt Tremont.
I love
you know,
Matt Tremont. Matt was the one that turned me around to it. And I'll tell you a quick story because I don't think you know it. I did I used to do the 2KW shows. The 2KW shows up in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And we had Matt on one of the shows. And he wrestled Ray's on one of the main events. And before we booked him, I was also part of a committee. And his name was pitched. And I did not want to do it. Because I was like, because the only thing I knew about Matt was the hardcore shit.
No, he could work.
I hadn't
dude.
seen him do the work shit yet.
But that's what I'm talking about. Just with even myself, it's about being put in those opportunities to excel and do different things.
Right.
You know, that's what it's all about. If you if you book somebody in a specific way, they're gonna wrestle a specific way.
Exactly. And I learned my lesson big time.
Hardcore wrestling, I respect it because it's very hard to do, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not, I used to
stay doing what you're doing. Don't get hit in the head.
Yeah.
This stupid shit. But let me just finish this real quick. So his name gets pitched. I'm not really for it because it's the hardcore stuff. They keep pushing it on me, and you know me. I'll give the guy a fucking chance to do anything. So I said, you know what? If he's gonna go in there with Ray's, because I said, well, we can't do a fucking hardcore match in the building we were in.
right.
So I said, why book Matt Streamount? We can't do a street fight in here. It's like, no, don't worry about it. He does more than street fight. The guy can actually work. And I said, if he can fucking work in the main event, fuck it, let's do it.
Right.
So we do it. And he comes over, dude, nicest fucking guy on the planet.
One of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life, bro.
Matt Tremont gets his ass beat and flesh torn off. And
But
he's
people
the
get to see that.
nicest fucking guy of all time.
That's why people don't believe that he's this brutal guy. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah, no, I
because
don't believe it
because
either,
people
yeah.
see
I didn't
who
believe
he
it
really
when
is.
he first came. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this guy's great. And the whole night, he was watching the matches. He's giving, he was being a real locker room guy. He was talking
he's
to the
super
guys.
awesome, bro.
So he goes over the match with Ray's. Everything goes over well. They went out there. They had a great match, and it was all over. He shook everyone's hand. I mean, the guy was fucking awesome. At the end of that, I went public. It was like, fuck it. I'm not going to shit on hardcore wrestling anymore.
Right.
If hardcore wrestling has guys like that, fuck it, bro. Let it just be.
Dude,
the
Low
other
Life
style.
Louie, who is a hardcore legend, he's from the Doghouse.
I love
as well.
Louie. Louie was another one that I
He showed me how to lock up. He showed me how to do chain work and
after the Matt
everything.
Tremont situation. So I know I'm like,
Right.
by the time I met Louie, I was already okay with it. I was like, this is great.
Right,
And
right.
Louie is just a character in general. Like, fuck hardcore wrestling. Louie is just a character. Bro.
One of the greatest people I've ever met in my
Makes
life.
the most
Louie.
gayest comments on Facebook of all time is Louie Ramos.
Nah, he's awesome, bro. He's hilarious, man. I have a lot of great stories with him, man.
Speaking of Matt Tremont being a great locker room guy, you have a bit of a reputation of being a locker room guy yourself. You're from the old school, and that old school doesn't just carry over into the performance; it carries over into the business.
Right.
Now, one of the things that I always tell people on my podcast is that one of the reasons that I got into the business myself is because I just love the business.
Right.
My biggest accomplishment to me was being a part of the fraternity. I knew I was never going to be WWE champion. I knew, regardless of how talented I was, I had so many things going on in my life
Right.
that I wasn't willing to make the sacrifice necessary to get to where I wanted to be. I had made that assessment already to myself.
Right.
I knew I'd never be a WWE guy. What I wanted more than the fan respect is the respect amongst my peers. I always wanted my peers to be able to look at me and say, that guy belongs in the business. And that was one of the things I always worked and strived for and all that stuff. Now that you've been in this business 17 years,
Right.
when you go into locker rooms, and I'm not going to ask you this, I'm going to tell you this because you're sitting in front of me. I've seen it myself. I've had other people comment to me. You take the locker room decorum very seriously.
Yeah.
I did a situation on my podcast a while ago when I was talking about the whole Sexy Star Rosemary situation where I caught a little bit of the heat because I actually defended Sexy Star a little bit because I was just like, I don't know what really happened.
Right.
I don't know the inside stuff, but as a locker room leader, if what she says is true and something went down and she took her liberties because she's the leader and that's what she's supposed to do, I co-sign. I go with it.
Right,
Because
right.
I like my locker room leaders to take care of that situation. Not only do I know you're stiff in the locker room, but I know you've actually thrown a few hands
Right.
a time or two when it comes to the locker room.
Yeah, for sure.
So I need two things from you here. Tell me what you believe is the importance of keeping that locker room decorum. Secondly, give me a situation where you had to fucking check somebody.
Oh, mad situations where I've had to check
I know,
somebody,
but I
bro.
want your favorite one where you had to check somebody.
Well, look, I feel like being a serious about your craft is very important, you know? And I know for myself that even at this age, my goal is to be able to provide for my family doing this for the rest of my life, you know, and being heavily involved in this business in some way, shape, or form. That's what I want to do. And I take it very seriously because the only way for me to be successful is to take it seriously. And that should be the mentality of a lot of people. I was a waste for a long time because I never truly reached my full potential, I feel, you know, of what I should have been at a younger age. and it took me such a long time to figure it out now. So now I have to be extremely serious when I'm in there because I want to make money and I want to be seen as a businessman. And I want opportunities to work like some of the best wrestlers in the world. I want to prove to my son that if you really put your heart and soul into something and give it 100%, that you could do it, man. You know, it's just about putting in the work and taking it very, very seriously. So that's why. I mean, people that chill with me know that I love to joke around, I love to laugh and stuff. But in there, I want the young guys in this business to see that if they want to make money, they got to do things the right way.
And your favorite checking?
It's been a lot, man. You know, like I don't want to. It's not even about that. Like at the end of the day, like there have been situations where, you know, where you're training people and they're not following directions the right way, and you gotta put them in place quick. It's too easy to get into this business right now. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't super easy when I got in, and I know it was harder.
And I tried to get in the same time you fucking got in, and you got in before I did.
Right.
And it wasn't easy. Now it seems like there's about 4 or 5 schools per state, and they'll take fucking anybody. Because in a lot of situations they're just literally taking your money. You know what I'm saying? And then in certain situations you see that schools are producing great talent and they're being run like a legitimate school. That's awesome, you know. That's what it should be about. You should be in wrestling school to want to be a wrestler for real, not because it's cool or you want to tell your friends you're a wrestler on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? Like, take your craft seriously. I'm gonna hit you with a question now. I don't know if you thought about it because you're so focused right now on what you're doing, and you said earlier in the show that your goal right now is to still get signed. You still want to get signed?
Yeah,
That's
man.
still the
Ideally.
overall goal. I have 2 questions. I'm just going to hit you with the first one first, and then you can answer. And the question is I'm sure you've heard the phrase, be careful what you wish for.
Right.
There's a lot of situations where guys who are on the indies get to the WWE, they hit that schedule, and shit goes afoul.
Right.
Okay? Joe is injured again. Daniel Bryan was a guy who was infamous and then broke it. There's a lot of situations where that schedule gets people.
Right.
Now, you said you're 37 years old. You've been doing this for 17 years. You've been doing.
But I wrestle a very smart way, man. Like I wrestle differently than a lot of
smart way, but
people.
I mean, there's no smarter way and no plainer way than what they do on Monday night, baby.
Right.
And these injuries just occur.
Right.
It's just what it is. Paige is going through her situation right now.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There's a lot of things.
Sad,
I mean,
man.
the injury bug. It just seems like it's becoming more of a real deal.
I've been taking care of myself lately and really taking my health and my body like serious. I'm probably in like the best shape I've ever been in right now.
But the question that I have for you is that the goal is to get signed.
Mm-hmm.
You get signed. Now we're doing 300+ days a year on the road. Are you ready for that? Is that something you've completely thought about? Where it's like that?
1 million
that's a commitment
%.
level on another fucking planet, man.
If I get blessed enough with the opportunity to do it for 5 days,
I mean, it's easier to do it when that check's coming in. I know that, but still, I mean, that's a heavy schedule.
That's what you ideally want, and you know, getting signed doesn't necessarily mean WWE. It could be NXT, it could be Ring of Honor, it could be TNA, it could be in Japan, it could be anywhere. You know, I ideally would like to be in WWE and NXT, but if that's not what's meant to be, then it's not what's meant to be. But I'm gonna give it my all for the time that I'm in. And if I ever get that opportunity, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna pedal to the metal, man, until I can't no more. You know, that should be the mentality of anybody in the business, no matter what. You know, I think I'd be fine. You know, you never know though. You know, like I go to a show next week and get hurt, but I've been blessed enough in my career to not really get injured and stuff like that. You know, I take pretty good care of myself, and now I'm dieting like crazy, and I'm in the gym like pretty seriously, you know, so I think I'll be all right, man.
I'm trying to get back on here. All right, I took a pause for the calls for a second.
He had a piss, brother. He told me I had to pee, man.
I had to go use the facilities. But yes, so you said just now you're ready for the schedule.
Yeah,
you're
for
ready
sure.
to go. The other question that I had for you is you're 37 years old. Even if you do get signed, You're gonna. I know you. You're gonna commit as many years as you possibly can.
Yeah, like 4 or 5
But
years
here,
ideally.
up here, you have a knowledge and experience in this business you can't fucking buy.
Right.
You have a skill set and an expertise up here that a lot of people don't have. And quick story about myself again. I wanted to be a wrestler, and I did a lot of things to be a wrestler. You've seen me physically
for sure.
perform. And I always give my all. I always give everything that I can. But the truth is truth. My body can't keep up with this business.
Right.
I've had injury after injury after injury. She's personally been in the hospital visiting me from stuff.
I save my bumps now. It's different, like for me,
For me, I was always the little guy, so it was always okay. You're gonna make this guy look good, bump around, and
Right.
that's where the injuries happen. You're blessed with 6'3", 200 solid pounds, there, brother. I wasn't gifted with that kind of package, so I had to make do with what I had. But luckily for me, I had gifts and talents in other ways. I can talk,
for sure.
I can manage, I can do commentary. I had other ways to be a part of the business, and I'm blessed with that, and I take that. But for someone like you, I mean, your bum card is practically full at this point. Even if you do get signed, I mean, we're talking about another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, that's all I would want, man. That'd be
which
great.
would take you to a grand total of over 20. I mean, we're talking about 22, 23 years in the business. Do you have a want to still be in the business after the boots are hung up? Are there other things that you have in mind?
Yeah, man,
that you
for
would
sure.
wanna do?
I wanna. There's a lot of things that I want to do in the next few years. I'd like to run my own school at some point.
I think you'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty awesome. If that's in the plans, that'll happen. I'd like to have my own company. And see what I could do with that as well.
Finally, have the book with no restrictions.
Yeah,
and
like
just show the creativity a little bit.
Be able to do it for 10 minutes and not get any heat for it.
You can vouch for this. I said this last week on the Kayfabe show. It's just like fans will be fans. Fan is short for fanatic. That's a sports term that's gone back a long time. This is not just wrestling. It's football. Everything. Monday morning quarterbacks. Everybody has their opinions about sports. And wrestling, regardless of how you may
The best shows on TV are like First Take and shows like that where you're just getting opinion.
We're living in an era now where not even, because sports it was forever, but now you can't watch a movie without someone being an expert about it, and this was shitty because of this reason. You can't watch a TV show. Everyone's a fucking critic now. And the reason why I'm bringing this question to you is now because, to me, critics should be people that have experience in doing. I get shit on a lot for that. Well, you don't have to do in order to know. Well, I think it helps.
Helps a lot.
I mean, sure.
It helps more than a lot.
There are coaches who never played the sport who are really good. I mean, that's fine. Tom Coughlin never took a snap in his life, but he won 2 Super Bowls as a fucking coach. That's great. But don't fall for the exception over the rule. I always believe, and I caught a lot of heat. I think it was like 2 years ago, I caught a lot of heat. I said online, as a status, I said...
But that's a reality.
The guy,
I think people should see that what you're saying is a reality.
But let me get your opinion on this. I said online, I said straight up, and I believe this. This is uncensored. I'm just spitballing here. I said the guy who took if you're a manager, a referee, a commentator, a ring announcer, whatever the fuck your job is,
right.
If before that job you used to take bumps, you have more respect from the boys than the people who didn't.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Look, that's the opinion I want to get, because I was getting completely fucking... I was getting bombed by people. You know who was bombing on me, though? The fucking people who never took a fucking bump.
Right.
Those were the people who were bombing on me, because they're like, well, I mean, I shouldn't lose respect because I never took a bump. I said, no, you don't lose your respect.
Right.
If you come to the show and your job, let's say, is...
Dude, bumping ain't easy, man. There's some people that take 1 or 2 bumps and they're done, bro.
And
they're
that's
like, they don't
right,
want
exactly. I'll have people like, you're a videographer, right? You film the show, you make me look good, you take all these... I mean, I have respect for you, man. You're doing your craft, you're doing your thing. But you didn't bump. The other guy next to you, he took bumps. So it's like the Obama handshake. You get the fist pound, brother, but the other guy gets a regular handshake. You know what I'm saying? I respect you. Do you as a worker, you've been doing this for 17 years. When you see guys leave the ring into the other realms of wrestling, whether he's promoting or booking or even reffing, do you have more respect for that guy than the guy who just came in off the street and is just doing the job?
In some instances, but it's also how people approach the business. If you see a genuine respect in that individual, then you shouldn't judge him for wanting to be a part of this business and trying to create something awesome, But in most instances, you're gonna want to be in situations where the person you're dealing with does have experience. you get real feedback, real experience, like things that genuinely happened. A lot of people don't realize how hard this is, man. Like, this is not easy, bro. And this is not for everybody. And at the end of the day, pro wrestling is all year round. It's not like another sport where you get months off at a time. You're doing 365, even if you're just working on the weekends, you know? You got to get ready for next weekend. You got 2 matches next weekend. Twisted that ankle on Friday. We got to figure out how we're going to make it to next Friday. You know what I mean? And pull it off and be successful at that so you could get more bookings and more opportunities. Yeah, man.
I know what you're talking about. I won tag titles with a hernia. I know exactly.
Yeah, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He was there. He knows the night that we have General Romero in the house, Georgie. No, you in the house, brother. I'm going to mention you. He was there. He visited this motherfucker. He was in that building when I won the tag titles with a fucking hernia, son. It's a real deal. I have but one last question for you before we get into these raps here. Megalito.
Right.
What the fuck is up with this guy?
That's my guy, bro.
What the fuck is up with me? I've never heard him speak. Is that part of the whole deal where he doesn't speak?
Well, that's my hired hand, Miguel. And everybody knows that he does a lot of things for the King of New York. He does a lot of things for El Rey all day. Whatever I need done, Miguelito makes sure that it gets done, and it gets done well and in a timely fashion. I don't understand what the issue is.
No issue for me, brother. I've seen him in every promo. Has he gone to shows? Does he?
Yeah, dude. He was that's my hired hand. He's with me everywhere.
He's the male Miss
He
Elizabeth.
had off today.
He's the male Miss Elizabeth. He's perfect what he does. Doesn't say a goddamn word the whole time.
He speaks,
he's
man.
Just there.
You know, he whispers a lot of things in my ear that people don't know.
Is it like one of those caddies and he's giving you the hit this guy with the hard punch right now,
bro? His feedback and what he's done for my career has been immense. I've been on a great run.
Looking for a real manager. I'm
man.
nominating myself.
He's doing a great job for me. He's helped my gimmick go to the next level with
I think so.
With having his presence there alone. You know what I'm saying? And
hired hand.
He's my hired hand. He's great, man. He's one of my really good friends in real life. And
has he had any other wrestling experience besides doing this? Or
no,
because he doesn't look shell shocked by cameras and crowds and stuff.
No, he's living his dream, man. It's cool that he was able to fit the role that I wanted him to do for me, and I was able to help him like live his dream. You know, like he's one of my really, really good friends in real life, and.
Wow,
we had an idea.
Another situation of you helping someone. Wow.
Hey,
can we talk anymore about that?
I've never helped anybody in my life. Yo, bro, I've helped so many people in my life. It's unbelievable, bro. And you don't hear too many stories about how I helped them.
That's why we're here, bro. Listen, we got all the history out of the way. Let's talk about that part. Because I said earlier that you've never done anything to me. And that's fine, but I've seen you. I physically have seen you be positive influences
on tons of people.
Yes, that's the thing. I've physically seen it. This is not third-party shit. It's not me saying, oh, maybe he's possibly not that bad. No, I've literally seen him not be that bad.
I've helped a lot of people.
The first name off the top of my head, Sebastian Cage. Talking about taking someone under your wing and teaching them psychology. I used to bitch to Cage every fucking day. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. I've wrestled.
I'm still bitching to him about that stuff, bro.
I've wrestled Cage where I'm like, why would you do that?
Right.
And then like just time spent with you and you're in the same car together and talk,
my guy, bro.
Talk to me about the abandonment. Okay, let's talk real quick about the situation where Cage left you somewhere or he abandoned you.
Oh, he
took him to wrestler's court. For this one, really?
Yeah, man, it was bad. He had I lent him my car, and he did not wake up to take me to the airport the next day. I was gonna lend it to him for like the whole weekend and chill, but that's my dude. It's fucking hilarious, but
now the heat
right
of the moment,
now it was,
yeah,
but not
the heat
that
of the
day.
moment, you were pretty serious.
Yeah, I was fucking
You
pissed
took his ass to wrestler's court.
Yeah, guilty as charged.
He was found guilty as charged. He was. He was indeed.
But he's doing good, man.
I volunteered to be his lawyer for it. I said plea bargain, bro, because I'm hearing the story now, and it's just take the plea bargain.
Yeah, there was no.
There's no getting around it.
I'm being a gentleman and a scholar as the King of New York to lend my car to a peasant like Sebastian Cage.
Listen, you've been around a long time. You've been doing this a while. Right now, you're at a point in your career where even at the height of the DRS as the tag team champions, you weren't closing out shows. Now you're the champ. You're
Right.
closing out all the shows. The fucking shows depended upon you. As a guy who now stands at the top of the mountain surveying the landscape, who are the guys right now in the scene that you're looking at and saying, yeah, that guy is pretty good. That could be the next. That could be the next DRS, or that could be the next King of New York. That could be the next guy coming up.
TJ Marconi's.
He's doing this thing.
Yeah, it's my dude.
Good
right
times
there,
only.
man.
I love that fucking
Yeah,
guy.
he's doing very well right now. Sebastian Cage is another one. Caveman, I think, is great. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys, man.
Caveman's been doing it for a while, though.
Yeah.
He's been doing the damn thing for
Yeah.
a while.
But, you know, sometimes it takes guys time to put the pieces together. You know what I'm saying?
Throw
And
the body out because
yeah,
he was a little guy. He was flacker.
that
too.
was the only issue. But now you see him. He's pretty
He was
stocky,
ripped
man.
as shit.
Yeah,
I
man.
saw this guy in TRL. I couldn't even fucking recognize.
Yeah, dude. He got, but that takes time, man. That everybody's body develops differently, you know, and
Yeah, all my
it
muscle
sucks
went
for
to my
me.
midsection here. This is where
Yeah, man.
I have a tight
I'm
ab
like that
system
too.
right here.
You just you get to a point where you have to put everything
Yeah, I know
together
you're,
at the same
I
time.
know you're feeling confident, brother. You took the singlet off, and now you got that fucking top showing up. I know you're fucking feeling confident.
Yeah,
at this point.
I'm not. I'm putting in the work, bro. You know, like at
Show
the
it
end of
off.
the day,
You
like,
got it, sister. Flaunt it. There it is.
you know, I'm at the point in my career where I had to completely revamp my look and
Absolutely,
to make it work. You know, I wasn't really happy with the way the King of New York was perceived in the beginning. Like,
Right.
I was this real king that like had a castle in the Bronx, you know what I'm saying, and rode a horse, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be seen as the way that I am now, you know, as very controversial, like a drug dealer, I guess, like a real hood dude. Like that's the perception that I want to give off with this character now. You know, very aggressive. Like I'm going to be working very tight with everything that I'm doing. I want to be perceived as real as humanly possible.
Well, that kind of that requires a commitment.
Yeah.
And it's something that you're very, very good at. And I wish more people, even if it's not your particular gimmick or your particular style, just commitment in general.
Right.
Because I don't see too many indie guys on any level that commit to a particular gimmick.
I'm just
Everyone
trying,
now is
man.
trunks, kick pads, and they're just wrestlers now.
Yeah.
That's the majority. That's why
Well,
I
that's
think
what I'm
your
saying.
character stands out.
What's old becomes new again, you know. And I'm trying to do it with the vignettes. I'm trying to do it with the pictures. I'm trying to do it with the in-ring work and the reactions that I'm.
But now
getting
you're
at
selling
shows.
yourself. You're using these apps now. You're using social media,
Yeah.
YouTube. You're on
Twitter, I'm not
Snapchat.
really good at. I'm not really a fan of Twitter, to be honest. But IG and Facebook, I use.
You're doing the Snapchat deal.
Yeah, Snapchat gimmick for sure.
Absolutely. You're doing a lot of crazy shit. Yeah, I'm going to play this quick audio clip right now because it is time. You're the first person I'm doing this with, by the way.
All right, awesome.
And it's the 9 rafts. Random as fuck. These questions are literally random as fuck.
right.
And you're probably looking at me going, well, wrestling random. No, these questions are random as absolutely fuck. So you can figure some of these X here. So,
All right.
Mrs. O is in the house, by the way, for those of you who wonder what I'm talking about. So I got 9 questions for you, random as fuck. You are hereby sworn to answer these questions as truthfully, as honest
sure.
as you've been all night. 1, if you weren't a professional wrestler, what would you be?
I would probably be a pastor.
A pastor? Oh, you're that deep into the faith.
Well,
Okay.
I was at a time like I
Did
feel
you just
like
say
I have
you
a
weren't
voice.
living the life?
I wasn't, but I probably would be living the life if
Oh,
I
had you not
wasn't
done
if I wasn't involved in wrestling, man. It's not easy to
Do wrestling
balance.
and
Yeah, the balance
Christianity at the
both.
same
Yeah,
time.
it's kind of rough, bro.
Someone
No,
should
for
tell-
real.
Someone should tell Brian Excel that. 'Cause
Nah,
he's still
Brian,
rocking.
those guys are super awesome, and I used to go to church with them, man. You know, I just
absolutely.
the experiences in my real life happened that made me fall out of Christianity. I started living crazy again, you know, for a good stretch, and I'm not going to be perceived as a hypocrite, someone who's just going to church just to go. I want to be someone that if I am going to go to church, I'm going to be fully committed to it and living, you know, in God's laws, you know. So I take that pretty seriously. I take it pretty seriously. So I'm not, you know, if I'm doing this character and I'm doing all these things, it'd be kind of hypocritical for me to be going to church as well and doing that.
Shawn Michaels had that same problem
Yeah,
for a
man.
while. He actually stopped going for a while because of the whole the DX run. He couldn't do it.
Right.
Question number 2: what is your condiment of choice,
Ketchup, brother.
brother? Basic A, the most basic condiment, the most basic condiment on the planet. Number 3, have you ever deuced and done critical damage to someone else's toilet?
Facts of life, my dude. A lot. And lately,
lot?
a lot, and lately, you know,
lot and lately.
dude.
It's
When you eat,
recent.
when you're on a diet and you eat a specific way, like I drink a lot of black coffee.
So you're
now
dropping
with no
healthy
sugar.
drops here. This is healthy stuff.
Hey man, I rip ass sometimes, man. I do damage, yo. It's not good. It's not good. It's good for me and my body, but it's not good for the person's bathroom that it is for at least a half hour.
Question 4, regardless of season, which sock do you prefer, ankle or tube?
Tube sock for sure, brother.
Tube socks. I'm the tube sock guy.
Come on, bro. I'm rocking them shits right now. I rock the.
Well,
the
you rocking
long-
them shits now because it's the dead of January.
Nah,
It's
man.
fucking
All the
freezing.
time. In the summertime, I got the long Nike socks onto my
Hell yeah.
kneecaps like I'm a Girl Scout and
I
stuff.
rock
You
it
know.
as well. Number 5, mustard of choice, yellow or spicy.
It's gonna have to be spicy, brother.
Oh, damn it.
Yellow-
That's the wrong
yeah.
answer, no.
Nah, because lately I've come. My taste buds have kind of gone to like spicier things. So I
that old man taste buds.
yeah,
now.
like oh man, this is
I need
amazing
to feel.
now.
I need to feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 7, PlayStation or Xbox.
I have both, dude.
No.
No, I do.
Land on
and
one.
I have a Switch.
You have both, but you play one more than the other. Which one do you play more?
I
than
play all them shits.
Okay, you can't land on one.
I'm gonna go with the Xbox.
Okay, number 8, Nintendo or Sega.
I'm gonna go with Nintendo on that.
I told you that was an easy one for people. By now, anybody my age, they have that shit already figured out.
Nintendo, dude, all day.
Number 9, and this is just the last question, and it's specifically made for you. If you could turn any celebrity into your own personal servant, a hired hand, if you will, who would it be and why?
The hired hand, Miguel, and it's happened. And like, you know what's crazy is that like the whole plan is coming into play, and people are witnessing history. They're witnessing the rise of the greatest king to ever come out of New York City. It's crazy what's happening right now. And it's because of Miguel, and it's because of the changes that we've made. And soon I'm going to be the king of the absolute world.
I absolutely believe it.
1,000,000%, bro.
Your particular style may not match with a lot of people, man, but it's true.
Some people
it's
love
true
it,
to
dude.
wrestling. It's
It
true
is
wrestling.
it is wrestling. It's 1,000,000% wrestling. The way that
It's
the
the
legends.
call-offs. It's the old NWA. Like you do it modern, you do it New York, you do it your way.
Yeah,
but
for
that
sure.
fucking that commitment, that old school fucking grind to it. It's
Well, I
so old
appreciate
school.
people that notice it a lot, you know, and like they put it over to me. Like
I don't
I'm
think
very friendly
current
with
day
fans
baby
too.
faces know what to do with it.
Right.
To be honest with you, like they see you and they're like, I don't know.
I should be my perception is that I should be the guy that every babyface wants to wrestle. That's the way that I look at
That's
it.
the goal, but the problem is that like we were just talking about before.
You
a
should
lot of
want to
baby-
make money, and you should want to be in an opportunity with
Everything now
someone
is-
that could get you the most heat. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
In
but a
any
lot of guys
situation.
now coming out, it's all about the athletic contest. They're not really looking.
You could do
at
the
it.
athletic contest and have people believe that it's real at the same time. It's all about how you call a match. So
Simulated combat.
nah, not even simulated, man. Combat with psychology that makes sense and,
Makes
and
sense
everybody
of it.
and everybody loves, man. Me and JT Dunn had a match in June. It was super awesome, bro. And that's someone who would technically be put in that genre of wrestling. Would be put in that genre of wrestling. And he's one of the best wrestlers I've ever wrestled in my life, bro. He's fantastic. But you could mesh those styles together and it could work. It's all about the two people that are working together, or the four people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How they mesh in the back when they're calling their matches and stuff like that.
Are you more of a planner or are you more of an on-call guy? Like in the ring type.
I like to call the beginning. I like to call the end and
And
one
then-
cutoff, and that's it, man.
That's just to me. That's traditional, right? Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's the traditional
And
way.
that's
of
how I
doing
was
it.
trained. That's how I was trained to
This is how we're
wrestle.
gonna open it. This is how we're going to end it. Here's where I cut
And
that heat up.
I'm trained that the heel calls the majority of the
Yes.
matches.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I have a formula that I think works very well for a lot of people, and I think I know how to heighten people's strengths, and I know how to deteriorate people's weaknesses when I call matches with them. And
Well,
we
you're
have
an
good matches.
experienced heel. I think when you get
Right.
these new heels coming out, you're in there with a veteran.
Well, because you have to
babyface,
sacrifice.
yeah.
Any heel knows that the people they want to see the heel get his ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? And you call the people's strengths, and then it's when it's your time, you do what you do, you know.
Brother, I'm going to reach across the table for me and shake your hand.
You got
Thank
it,
you
my
so
dude.
much for coming to the House of O
Anytime,
and doing
man.
this here interview.
It was cool, bro.
Did
I
it go
appreciate
okay
it.
with you? You good?
I hope that I answered all your questions. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you answered all of my questions. I hope you answered all of the fans' questions. I
for
really,
sure.
and I'm going to end it with this because I am running toward the end here, but I definitely wanted to end it with this. You have a and we've said this from the very beginning. I told you when we started this, I was going to come at you. I was going to,
Yeah, for sure.
And we're going to do facts. And we're going to talk straight shit. And the straight shit is that I always felt for the last few years, especially since I've known you, that you've had this reputation of being a guy who is and I really think you're ABC. I've always enjoyed your work.
Right.
I've met you as a person. You've never done anything to me, and I've personally seen you influence so many other careers in a positive way.
Yeah, for sure,
And
man.
I
I want to be a pioneer, and I want to be someone that lasts in this business for a long time. And you last by helping people. Like everybody back in the old territorial days were there helping the new guys coming in, taking people under their wing and doing things the right way with them. And this business became very me focused, very about myself and me focusing on what I have to do. But I don't believe that. I believe you can help people along the way and do right by them and see them do well, you know?
Right, and I gave you the example off air before we started talking, and it's like if there's one spot available and it's between me and you, right, and I choose me, well, that guy, obviously, in his perspective, I'm an asshole.
Right.
And then he tells other people I'm an asshole, and so on and so
Right.
forth, and all of a sudden it becomes this big, overwhelming wave of where
There are
that's
people
his
that don't like
reputation.
me that I've never even talked to in my life. You know?
Right, exactly. Who I made the joke earlier, but it's like,
Right.
well, I've never met him, but I heard he's an asshole, so he's an asshole. I never really had a preconceived notion of you. I kind of.
I don't think most people do. I just think it's.
No, I think some people do. That's why. No, I do.
Well, the
people
people that are brave enough to go to someone like you and tell you that, but will look at me in the fucking eye and not, you know,
No, I know, yeah.
and shake my hand and act like they don't have an issue with me. I've never been that person, and nor will I ever be that person. I'm the type of person that if I don't like you, I'm going to shake your hand, but you're going to know that I don't like you.
Right.
Because I respect this business, and I respect how you supposed
And I've
to
seen you
conduct
do
business.
it. I was sitting at Ridgefield Park when you did it to what's his name,
Right.
and exactly. So
Right.
I'm not going to go into it now, but you know that I know. That
Yeah.
I've been there before and I've seen it.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
why. Yeah, I've seen you go to war with this guy and still do it because it's what's good for business.
For sure,
I know
bro.
it's a shitty catchphrase that's been run into the ground, but best for business is best for business. Everybody uses it.
Respecting the fact that people have hired you to do a job and you do your job and you do it to the best of your ability. And for me, I don't worry about what other wrestlers do because I'm so confident in what I do that I don't care what anybody else does. I know that if I'm given an opportunity to be on a show and I'm given a spot, that I'm going to do my best.
Right.
And I know that my best is good enough. I don't care about what other people say. But
Well,
when
now
people-
you're at a point definitely where you should feel like this is good shit. You're doing good shit.
I mean, I'm happy, man, because I'm working very hard and like I have a great group of people around me and we're all working hard together. And you do that, anything is possible, bro.
Well, do you have anything coming up where these guys can see you? You got any shows coming up you want to plug? Or?
Yeah, this Saturday it's my my
Keep
first
in mind,
title
this is
defense.
this is airing next Wednesday.
Oh, so
Yeah. So if you missed it last Saturday,
yes, it's the Saturday, the
I'll plug
20th.
I'll plug the show this week so they know you're going. Because
Yeah.
I'm announcing you this Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
So I'll plug the show.
So I'm defending the title this Saturday, even though you ain't gonna know about it, against Sawyer Fulton from NXT. It's gonna be his first match coming out from developmental. He's working me at.
So
I think it's
Negro's
gonna be
taking
great.
on Sanity, folks. If you
Yeah.
want, if you can go back into time a few days and go to, is it back in Ridgefield Park?
Yeah, it is, man.
That's Pro Wrestling Magic's kind of home base, right?
That's definitely home base, man. It's a
Okay.
great building. I love wrestling
I've
there.
performed there. It's a very good building. Yes.
Yeah, for violence and suffering.
Yes.
So, yeah, I know.
I did a little bit of a heel shtick a little bit that particular night. He was sitting in the back.
And then next month is going to be
next month,
really
there we go.
busy. Yeah, February. SWF. I'm wrestling James Ellsworth on the 24th. That's one of his first matches out of WWE, which is going to be pretty
So
cool.
everybody who gets released has got to come through you to get back to the Indies.
I think that it's a blessing for me, and it's a blessing, I think
think
for
it's a
them
sign
as
of
well.
trust.
Yeah, man.
I think.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, you know, you want to be able to put on good performances with these guys that are at the top of their game, whether they got released or they didn't. They had a run in the WWE and they made money and they were successful and they were given the opportunity. That's all you could ask for, and you have to respect everybody that's ever gone through that system.
Now, I'm trying to wrap it up, but now you just said something that gave me another question. You know,
What's up?
Some of these guys getting released coming through you now, I mean, you've been doing this 17 years. Sawyer Fulcher can't hold your jock when it comes to veteran experience.
Right.
Do you take that into consideration when you put these matches together, or are you letting the WWE guy kind of get his shit?
Nah, man. I
You call
my
your matches,
dude.
right?
Yeah, I do because I feel like I understand how to call a match properly so that everybody.
Because he doesn't know this audience. That's your audience.
Well, not even that.
I mean, in that building.
We're definitely going to work together and sit down, and I'm going to see what he wants to do, and we'll just piece it together the right way. But, you know, for me, it's an exciting match for me because I'm hoping that, you know, they see it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if they want to see if their talent is going to work hard to come back up and get back. So
AKA Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of guys have done it lately, man. And
it wouldn't be nice if the guy they showcased that against was you. And then there you go.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna put all of your social media shit in with his video,
Yeah,
so
sure,
you don't have
man.
to plug it if you don't want to. Is there anything else that you wanna kind of put out there, promote before we end this?
Just pay
this?
attention, man. We're gonna be doing a lot of big things in New York and all over this year. I'm very excited. I'm gonna be working out there at WrestleMania weekend. I already got a booking out there. So
You going out there in New Orleans?
yeah, man, we're gonna
There you
try to
go.
make some impact out there,
There
and
you go.
you know, just continue to generate buzz in the brand and try to be the best wrestler I could possibly be, bro. That's it, man. And I appreciate you having me here. I appreciate your wife letting us come into your home at this late at night to record this. And
You were very responsible too, by the way, folks. He's got to drive home. I got this gentleman a gift. He didn't open it yet.
not one sip,
There you
because
go,
I'm in
not one
training,
sip.
man. I'm taking this
Sober
serious,
as a
bro.
bird this entire hour and a half. So, for those of you who thought it was the liquor talking, it wasn't. He's sober.
Nah, man,
I got
it's
the
straight
box right in
shooting,
front of
bro.
me.
Live
It's not
rounds,
open.
baby. Live rounds, man.
Thank you so much for coming out and
Thank you,
being the
man.
first interview, and it really means a lot to me.
I just hope people see my perspective and my side of the story, like, because I've heard a lot of bad things too, and it sucks to be the person on the other end that hears that when you know that you're conducting yourself in a
You know
specific
what?
way.
We've been talking for now officially 140 minutes. If they don't get it by this, fuck them. That's it. Fuck them. If this doesn't get them, fuck them. There's no way to win them over. That's it. It's over. Thank you so much,
got it, my dude.
Mr. E.C. Negro, the king of New York, ladies and gentlemen, the Pro Wrestling Magic heavyweight champion of the world, and soon to be champion of the rest of the world if he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, man.
This
Awesome.
is AJ Orsini. This is episode 16. Tune in again next week, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. AJOUM.podbean.com. All the social media stuff will be in the bottom, not just for me, but also for my guest, Mr. Negro. And we'll also be putting the Pro Wrestling Magic information down at the bottom so that you guys can check that company out as well. You know, when you're the champ, you got to rock it.
Thanks, bro.
So
Appreciate that.
I'm going to be putting all that stuff down. And so you guys can catch them on the social media below. Thank you so much for paying attention to my show, and come back and listen to me again. Peace.
Please listen to my daddy show.
Please listen to my husband's show.